W.J.R.G. Internet radio station, KMI TV, Action First broadcast, new edition 2026.
And festival that's taking place on this Saturday, May the 2nd. And we have in the studio, we have Melissa. How you doing, Melissa?
Good, how are you?
All right, we have Kiana.
Hi.
God bless you. We have also Mary from Mary Wade. Am I saying it right?
Maria from Mary Wade.
Melissa, yeah, okay, Melissa, right?
Maria.
Maria.
From Mary Wade. And also we have Brother Frankie, Alderman in the Fairhaven section. Welcome to Action First broadcast tonight. God
Thank you
bless
for having us.
All right. And Dr. Wayne, I want to welcome you as always, brother, because you
Yes,
the man.
sir.
You the
Well,
man.
to God be the glory.
You know
man.
everybody knew Amen. So bad. I mean, this guy knew everybody. But you're doing a great job. So let's talk about the parade that's coming up on this Saturday in Fairhaven. So who I want to start with? You want to start with you? Talk about the parade?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to start with you, Kiana. Let's talk about the parade and what's the purpose and the plans for the parade.
Yeah, so I can actually so I'll start. So I'm Kiana Cinturon. I'm with Junta for Progressive Action. I'm the youth leader there. I'm also a project manager for the Fairhaven Day taking place on May 2nd. So that's this Saturday.
Okay.
And so the festival that's what I'm managing. So the festival portion of the day has over 90 resource tables, and we have vendors, small business. We really want to highlight small businesses and emphasizing all of the talent and the residents and the people that make up Fairhaven to be what it is. And so showcasing that and putting those folks on display is the goal of the festival, and the day entirely, right, in different components. And so we'll have live performances. We will have a whole bunch of activities for kids. We'll have a mobile bookmobile. It's a mobile library. We will have a sword show going on. There's just a whole bunch of things during the festival.
Looking forward to it, right?
Yes, I'm very, very excited. This is our fourth one. So this is our fourth festival this year. But it was happening way back when. So I can let Maria talk about that.
Go ahead, Maria. Talk about
Okay.
the beginning. How did it get started?
Right. So Fairhaven Day goes back to 1970, 1980s. I actually was in the parade with older Frank.
Okay.
And it was restarted in 2008 by David Hunter and Mary Wade as a community event honoring Old Americans Month, and it grew each year. In 2020, because of COVID, we still kept the parade going, but we used cars.
Okay.
So we had a car parade.
Parade, all
yes,
right.
and then had the residents and the community just look out the window and just wave. I'm also the clown.
Okay.
With my cousin Jessica Soto, who also works at Mary Wade. So we target the little kids and.
You mean the clown that you get all dressed up?
All dressed up.
Oh, you got to give me your contacts. I know people got some clowns sometimes.
They're good too.
Yeah. You'll see the picture.
You'll see us tomorrow.
Saturday.
I mean, sorry.
I'm gonna have
Absolutely. So in 2023, Alder Frankie and Alder Sarah Miller proposed moving the parade to Grand Avenue and adding a festival, helping expand into what it is today.
All right.
Yeah.
And there was a song, "Tears of a Clown" by Smokey Robinson. You might don't remember that.
I remember that.
Actually, that song written by Stevie Wonder, and he gave the song to Smokey. But listen, let's talk about your part in your
There's a
role
clown.
in the parade.
Oh, there I am.
Mhm. Yeah, it's one more than we flash.
Okay, go ahead, Melissa. Let's talk about your part.
Yeah, so this year I started like as the new coordinator for the parade, but also I had the help of Yvette, that was the previous coordinator that worked at Mary Wade, and also like the guidance of Maria, that also was that's a college student as well as me, that helped last year as well. So my role is basically I call and email people, different organizations, schools, bands, elders, like politicians, and everybody.
You're like the marketing part. Then.
Kind of. Yes. So, and then they get back to me asking if like, oh, they would like to participate and everything. So this for right now, we have about like more than like 500 people confirmed that's gonna walk, and we're still waiting on it, and it's like 2 days from the parade. So if you would like to join, that would be great. We will appreciate all the like people. But yeah, we have like school bands, like students participating, organizations passing out information. This year we got like a group of Jeeps, so that's pretty cool.
Okay.
And we have like the Miss Puerto Rico from PRU, Miss Seniors as well. So there's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of people like giving out stuff and information. So yeah, that's basically like the parade.
All
Yeah.
right. All right.
That's my work.
So my man Frankie, you're alderman as well, and is historical with wrestling and all that. We talked before we got on the air. Let's talk about your part in the parade, and let's talk about the wrestling part that is supposed to take place, I believe, at 5 o'clock or something later on. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So the cool thing about Fairhaven Day is, as a committee, we don't say no to each other. We want to add something, we add it. So it just gets bigger and bigger every year. We want to make sure everybody has something. The first couple of years, we offered the auditorium to some nonprofits to use, and nothing really panned out. And we didn't want it to be empty. So last year, I think it was Sarah Miller who just said jokingly, "Why don't you run a wrestling show?" Because she knew I was a big wrestling fan. So we did, and we pulled about 600 people. We raised money for juvenile diabetes.
Okay.
So this year, we said, why not do a little bit bigger? And we're going to move it into the gym. We're going to set up about 1,000 seats, and we're going to raise money for New Haven PAL to try to create some programs for kids.
Okay.
And we picked up a number of sponsors, a number of community sponsors to help us get it off the ground. So it's going to be a pretty cool event.
Now, are you from you from New Haven?
I'm a lifelong Fairhavener. I was born on Russell Street, 671B Russell Street, across from Eastern Circle. But and my grandmother lived in the Front Street projects on Dover Drive, Front and Dover Drive. And then we moved to Lombard Street when I was 5, and my father still lives in that house on Lombard Street. So
what high school did you go to?
I'm in the house of God. I got to be honest. I got kicked out of Notre Dame High School and ended up graduating from Wilbercross. But I never left Fairhaven.
The Lee High School. That's what I'm asking. And matter of fact, I'm being inducted to my high school of fame in
Congratulations.
October. So yeah.
Congratulations. That's a great honor.
Yeah. We'll be at Anthony's Ocean View. So yeah, I'm just saying I wasn't no A student either in high school, but just because of my community service work. That's why I said we're from New Haven. That's why I'm asking these questions.
Yeah.
So what made you get into politics, being an alderman and helping you, especially in Fairhaven too? That's where you grew up at.
First and foremost, I've worked for the Board of Ed for 31 years.
Wow. Okay.
And in many different capacities, but mainly around dealing with at-risk kids. And then a large portion of my career, I've worked specifically around gun violence. A tattoo on my left arm with about 80 kids that we've lost here in New Haven in gun violence. It's been my number one cause in life. It's one of the reasons why I never left. You know, my dad ran the Farnham neighborhood house.
Okay.
And as long as I can remember, we were always losing. We lived in the projects. We always knew somebody who got killed, or somebody, a family member who got killed. So
same here.
It just became my cause. You know, it's what kept me in Fairhaven. Never thought I'd be an alder though.
But that was God had a plan for you from the beginning. because you had to go through the rough times. And now you can relate with people, the kids that's going through what they're going through.
Yes, sir.
You've been through there.
Yes, sir.
See, God had a plan for you from day one, and you just didn't know. All right, so that's all of us. You got a plan for all of us. Wow, man, you got a great story, man. So we'll get back to the rest in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Then let's talk about Mary Wade. Let's talk about what you do with Mary Wade and all that. Maria.
I'm the director of the residential care services there, and Mary Wade is a continuum care for seniors. So the beauty of it is we become a family. Once you're in there, we take care of your relatives, whether they need short-term rehab or assisted living. They could go through the continuum of care.
Okay.
As needed, yeah.
So how long has Mary Wade been in existence doing what they do?
We're about to celebrate our 160th birthday this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's an important population, I mean, the seniors need to be protected. I mean,
Sure.
it's there's not enough out there. We talk about kids, we need to be talking about seniors as well.
Yeah.
That's right. And if I could just jump in there for a second, because I was gonna add my 2 cents, right? But
went to Friendly's, and I saw on the menu seniors. Oh my God, give me a discount.
Save me some money.
But it's a beautiful thing, when God allows us to get a certain age, man. So we can look back and appreciate our youth and the younger kids, the younger people growing up. So let's talk about Melissa. Let's get back to you. Being 19 years old, what are some of the challenges would you say some of the young kids are dealing with today?
Something that I will say, I think, and I have talked with people and like friends as well, is being underestimated. I feel because of our age, usually they don't. When we're putting adult settings, many of the times we get really underestimated. I'm really grateful for the fact that I was able to be in a community, especially thankful to Kiana that brought me to the community and the Junta family, because I feel like that's having like youth people around you and having people like older people that believe in you and what you do really push you and make you believe in yourself. So I feel like many times people, adults, think that we're not capable of many things because we are mature or we're not in the age that we should, like, I guess, be deciding or stuff like that. So I will say one of them is that. And also, I feel like we lack sometimes a lot of resources. Many of the communities do not have like proper education or don't have like transportation or the basic needs. And I think like when you don't have that as a kid, when you don't have that as like a teenager, it's really difficult for you to grow. But I'm also thankful for the fact that there's also people that work in the community to make you believe in yourself, make that dream come true, or make you think that your dream is not a waste or you cannot like accomplish it. But yeah, I would say that.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yes.
Wow.
Frank, I got go ahead.
Hold up cause listen, cause I'm telling you, I always say this is an epic moment, and for the young lady Melissa, God bless you. I hear a lot of maturity. I preach the message about stages, right? And you see from the toddler all the way to the senior citizen, right? And a lot of times in those age brackets and age stages of life, we have to evolve. And sometimes, a lot of people, they grow older in age, but they don't really grow. They still that little baby down there at the bottom of that totem pole where they should be more mature in their age bracket. And I just heard some maturity in this young lady. Yeah. Amen.
But let me ask a freaky question, being an alderman and grew up in New Haven, got all the tattoos, bullying. You know, for the young kids, that's got to deal with the bullying today. I know it was rough in our day.
It's complex.
Okay.
It really is a complex issue. When you so many people throw that word around, bullying, and it happens. So let's not say it doesn't happen. But a lot of it we would have just called mean when we were younger. You know what I mean?
We didn't look at being bullied.
I mean, I see bullying as like prolonged stuff that's going on that nobody's helping with, that you know, nobody is defending that person. A lot of times it gets written off as just being mean. I think what we lack, or what we've lost, I should say, we stopped teaching kids those things that should be taught at home. You know, school used to be like the surrogate parent. Think about your teachers growing up. Like a lot of them were like moms and aunties, right? And your mom or your people would let them get away with parenting you sometimes. Like we don't have that anymore. That doesn't exist anymore.
Wow. Okay.
So, you know, we've lost that connection. We're no longer the surrogate parent. We're the school now, as opposed to.
Because it was funny. Superintendent of schools, not the late Reginald Mayo.
I mean, that's my godfather. I call him the godfather.
He was my science teacher in Troop Middle School. All right. At that time, he was a teacher. He just started teaching. He said too, he did not play. All right. I remember when the guys act up, he'll call you out for everybody. And let's go to the bathroom. Especially the guys, let's go to the bathroom. And them kids don't want to go in that bathroom with him. But he had his class in check. Yeah. And he remembered me in that class. I was always one of the nice guys because I feared the guy, to be honest.
Yeah. And Dr. Beatty too.
Okay.
The first two principals I ever worked for in the Board of Ed were Reggie Mayo products. It was Joe Montagna and Jerry Baldino. And they were like, listen, you play with those guys.
Oh, well, listen.
Come to school
and Dr. Beatty too. We call him Daddy. He had a battle.
Play around. Play around with those old school guys. And I think as a society, we've just gotten a little lax. We've lost that measure of accountability. And you know how I say it is, you know, there's compassion is great, but you got to have a line in the sand. And when I think about being a leader in a community, I think about my grandmother.
Okay.
Right. Think about your grandmother. Right. She loved you to death, but she didn't let you get away with murder, did she?
No.
And that's the way we got to treat people. Like, we want to love you. We want to be compassionate. And we want to give you everything you need to be successful. If you step out of line,
call it tough
you know what I'm saying?
No, it's tough love.
Tough love. And that's the only reason I have a career now, 31 years later. That's my degree, is in tough love.
I've always been, because my dad was like that, and I'm like that with my kids too. You know, and you got to get them when they're young too. I tell you, you can't wait till they get 9, 5, or 6. Get them young. Because that way there, you just give them a look. I just look at my kids and they know I ain't playing.
That's right.
It's that tough love.
And I told you, I knew this was gonna be good before you get to that question, because I want to throw this in there,
Go ahead.
right? Because see, one of the things, and I can tell Frank, he's from our era, because there was a village. It take a village to raise a child, right? And we understood that, right? I grew up on Down Street off Congress Avenue. It's maybe about 40 houses on that block. No, less than that. I would say about 30 houses on that block. And by the time we got home off the school bus, I got spanked about 4 times, or then got one when I got home, because it took a village to raise a child. Before I got home, Mom already knew what was going on, right? Because the community was more of a village. And see, that's why we have to correct some things in the community, and we have to value the village.
All right. And that relates to a lot of the societal ills that we're dealing with today. Could be corrected by bringing that sense of community back. Right. I mean, you think about drug addiction right now, right? You look around at some of the people that walk around the neighborhoods, we don't recognize them. But back in the day, we knew their people. We knew, listen, you better not act up in the street, because we'll call your grandmother, I'll call your aunt. We've lost that sense of connection to everybody in our community, right?
Yeah.
So Maria, who inspired you growing up? Who inspired you, would you say?
I would say,
Because you're inspiration to somebody else now. So keep in mind, somebody watching your lifestyle too, and what you're doing.
right.
We're inspiration to other people. So who inspired you?
I would say my mom.
Okay.
My mom, she worked really hard. Didn't have much, but worked really hard because I was born in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So to put food on the table, or just to make sure that, you know, we were okay.
What about you, Frankie? Who inspired you, bro?
So many people, but you know, I thought about it a lot over the last week or so. I gotta say, my oldest brother, Scott.
Okay.
you know, he was just the guy who put his nose down. He knew what he wanted, and now I just got to watch the chief of Space Force today testify in a appropriations hearing, and he was using the speech that my brother wrote. So that was pretty cool. You know, my brother works in the Pentagon, and you know, he's been there about 35 years in DC. He's Fairhaven kid. He's a Fairhaven kid. So just he's my idol.
Anything good come out of New Haven?
Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Everything good comes out of New Haven.
That's
everything.
It.
So Kiana, what's the plans for you growing up? You say 22, you said?
I'm 21.
21, okay.
Yes.
I mean, any plans in the future?
Yeah. So I'm currently going to the University of Connecticut.
Okay.
UConn. I'm a full-time student. I'm studying biology. And so I'm in my 3rd year now. So about to be a senior.
You're a smart girl.
I try.
While doing all this other stuff. Like, that's not just the only thing she does. Keep in mind.
I say you're smart. I'm not saying to be joking because I had a problem with algebra. I never learned that. It means I'm just certain things I couldn't learn.
I mean, we were on the Paul Bass show, and he couldn't believe it when the first time after the first Fairhaven day, her first interview. She was like, "Wait a minute, you're a high school kid?" I mean, she runs all the behind the scenes on this festival. Like, we couldn't do it without her.
Wow. Hey, keep up the great work. What about you, Melissa? What's your plans? You know, you're 19 years old. Do you have any plans or goals that you want to see accomplished?
Yeah. Well, also a college student. This is my 1st year, almost ending. So we're in the finals part. I'm studying in psychology. So
right?
Yeah. I would like to go more into psychology, try to like do therapy, but also I would like to teach and also be in my community. I think like I would love to get therapy to all the communities that have lived with the mindset of that going to a therapist or talk to someone is crazy. That means that you're crazy. When I say that it's not, I think even in my culture, I was born in El Salvador, raised over there, and moved here to the United States. So I think like giving kids the reassurance that they can feel and that they have their feelings are valued and have people that listen to them. Many times kids often just want to talk to someone. You don't need to understand them. You don't need to like tell them like advices. They just need to be listened. And I think we lost many of them. I want to give that to the kids. So yeah, that's basically my plan.
All right. So you have any special hobbies that you enjoy doing right now?
Well, I like to do a lot. I love arts and crafts. I have like when I was in high school, I have my pipe cleaner flower business that I like used to do for like the students, the teachers. So I had that. I bought a camera, so I like to take pictures and everything. A lot of like drawing and stuff like that. Music, I'm trying to learn to get into like the keyboard.
No, I got you.
I don't play a lot, but I like.
You want to learn it. You want to learn.
Yeah, I want to learn it. So yeah, I would like to do a lot of stuff. Volunteer, get into the community. So yeah.
All right. All right. So let's get back to you, Frankie, about the wrestling part. All right. You're a WrestleMania person that you said you 8 years old. You met Andre the Giant or something.
Maybe Coliseum, yeah.
With him. Now let's talk about what you plan on doing at the parade for the wrestling part.
So after the conclusion of Fairhaven Day, we're going to be doing our 2nd annual charity wrestling show. Last year, we had it in the auditorium. We raised money for juvenile diabetes. This year, our co-sponsor of the show is New Haven PAL, and we're going to be raising money for New Haven PAL to create programs for kids. And I don't know why wrestling, but I mean, it's always been my thing since I was a kid. You know, growing up in New Haven, we had the Coliseum. We were always at WWF shows, watching it on TV, wrestling in the yard.
Why is wrestling so big, though? It's big, man.
It's a great escape. It's a great escape. You know, it's an out of the box way to earn a living. You know, and I think it's. So I run the Elm City Wrestling Club, and what we do is we teach the kids how to create the show and how to run all the behind the scenes components. And I think if you look at it, you know, it's a diverse industry of so many different streams of income, you know, and what we're trying to do that is bring it to our kids. I mean, following independent wrestling like I do, a lot of the guys that are wrestling come from similar backgrounds as we do, and they've made it out through that venue. So that's what we're trying to do.
All right, all right, all right. How difficult, I'll start with all y'all putting this parade together from scratch. Go ahead, I'll start with you, Maria.
Um, this year or just in
Oh,
general?
just putting the parade
Well,
together.
it's difficult. It's a lot of moving parts. You have to make sure that you with just a parade alone, you have to get people to want to commit to it. You have to call the schools, like she said. We have to make sure that we get the sponsors, and it's just a lot of work. But we do it together.
Yeah.
Permits
Yeah.
and street
Oh,
closures and you know
yes.
police routes, and
Wow.
there's so many people involved. And like I had
Involved.
said earlier, like when the first year we decided to bring this back, and I was working for Leonard Jihad at Connecticut Violence Intervention. They wanted me to do a backyard something or other, and I called Alder Sauer Miller, brought her in, and she has brought in so many different pieces to this. I mean, there are people that work behind the scenes on this that probably don't even show up at the event. I mean, that's how
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
many people are
yeah.
involved in this. So
Wow.
For sure, there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, talk about it. Talk about
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of moving parts, right? But it definitely takes a team. Like it's not just one person. Even just the festival portion has like subcommittees. So there's people working on just vendors. There's, people working on just the parade. There's people working on just the wrestling show. Folks who are solely like looking for the money. So folks who are like following up with sponsors, etc. And then there's a subcommittee for, okay, you're on food, and so
volunteers, yeah.
there's someone who's managing the volunteers and keeping track of who's signing up, and on the day of, who are they checking in with. Like there's all these logistical pieces, and then talking with the city, right? He mentioned permitting. That's a big one.
Oh, that's major.
So, but the mayor's all for it, though, right? Basically, right?
Yes, and yeah, I mean he's
You
coming
have to
to
ask him that. He's coming. He's coming. He'll be
yeah,
here.
he's
Oh,
coming.
you gotta be
No, he
out
loves
there.
Fairhaven. No, I'm
I'm
just
saying, if you want to go for mayor, you got to show your face in the right place. For people to see it.
Yeah,
You want to participate.
even in that part, like there's not just one person approving. There's multiple people we have to go to for those
Yeah.
approvals. Like there's a separate vendor for like food things that need to get approved by the police first, and then they have to go through the food department, health department.
Yeah.
It's just like
A lot of moving parts.
yeah, I have like
Exactly.
a
Same
food
here.
contact person, and then I have like a health department. Those are two separate permits. Like there's just a whole bunch of like little
I can't
pieces
even
that you
imagine.
don't think of.
No, I can't even
Yeah.
imagine, like what you do. 'Cause people ask me a few times about getting into politics, being an alderman. I'm in the Hill section. I'm like, I never got into that field. But I'm very
Never say
aware.
never.
I'm very aware of what goes on now. Don't get me wrong, because I'm totally hardball. I know all of them, But it's the fact that what you're doing. 'Cause I got a picture up there. I was
Yeah,
at the City
sorry.
Hall. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm saying, it's very exciting, to put stuff like that together. Like I said, we did Gospel Fest. But let me start with you, Melissa. What is the greatest joy you get after everything is done? The parade is over. People had a good time. They went home, and what kind of joy does that bring you?
I will say like before the past like 3 years that I've been in it. So far, I have been like a volunteer. I have been an MC. Now I'm coordinating.
See too. All
I
right.
feel like for this year after the parade, I just want to enjoy like the time. I want to like spend it like if anybody needs help, I'll be there. But I feel like I want to like be part of Fairhaven and be a Fairhaven like community member as well. So and enjoy it with my family. And I know everything's gonna go great and we're gonna enjoy everybody. So I think yeah, just have fun, just enjoy what we have, enjoy the people, enjoy the music, everything.
What about you, Kiana? What kind of joy is going to bring you after all your hard work is done?
Yeah, I agree 100% with Melissa. I'm telling everyone, they're like, oh, like, are you going to be free? Because I have friends who are coming to like support and visit. And I'm like, yeah, like find me after the setup. Once everything's set up and running, like we will just be part, because at the end of the day, this entire committee, we're all Fairhaveners, right? And so like we want to enjoy it too, like what we built and what we made, and see everything come together. It was already there. It's just putting everyone in one spot, and I think just being able to enjoy that. I agree 100%.
What about you, Maria?
Satisfaction that it was a success. that's the part that I enjoy.
Yeah, you got families that's
Yeah.
getting together, and
Yeah.
and that's the whole purpose of the parade. You want the families, you want the kids, to really enjoy themselves. What about you, Frankie? What kind of joy it gives you, man? You're the alderman, in your city, in your part of the city, Fairhaven. That got to bring some kind of joy to you, right?
Yeah, it's a blessing because, like I said, this Fairhaven Day was a special time for us as kids in Fairhaven. So the fact that we could bring it back, mainly we brought it back to show people what Fairhaven really is. It's a historic landing spot for immigrants. It's a great place to live. Historically, it's gotten a bad rap, so we wanted to show people what it really was. Now we've turned out 2,500, 3,000 people at these events, man, and it's never had an issue. It's because Fairhaven people are all about community, and we take care of each other.
All right, you want to say something, Dr. Wayne? I know you was.
Well, I tell you, I just want to speak to with Melissa and her field, because that's so needed for these kids, because we hear a lot of kids that committing suicide and these things, and it's good to see young people looking to go into a field that they can really be effective in the area. 'Cause I see too many kids go to college, get a degree, when they come out, they got the debt, but they're not doing anything in their field. So it's good that that find where that they
She wanted something, and I was like, okay, well, while you work, she did it. Well, we made it work for a while. We were doing music too, but till the CD started going out, everybody started downloading music. I was my time to get out. You know what I'm saying? But whatever I'm telling you, whatever you want, make it happen. So I don't care about the degrees. I care about what are you doing. Am I talking right, Frank?
That's the story of my life, man.
All
I have no
right.
degrees. I barely graduated high school. Spent some years in various we'll leave them unnamed, some various street factions
Okay.
before getting my stuff together. So I tell people, I kid around people all the time when they talk about their degrees. I tell them I went to Stand and Lean University, corner of Grand Avenue and Fair Street. So yeah, man, degrees are great. I mean, I think we should inspire our kids to be lifelong learners. I really do.
That's right.
However, I don't think it's the end all and be all, especially when working with kids. I think building relationships with kids is the most important thing, because kids don't care what you know until they know you care. Right?
That's right.
Like if they don't know
That's
you
it.
care about them, they don't want to hear any of the stuff you're going to preach to them from those school books. That's just true. And it's why guys like me have jobs, because we're the ones who build, we go mediate the problems. When the kids are having a personality conflict, I like to call them, the adult, we come in and say to them.
Both of y'all, Kiana and Melissa, if you want to be wise, hang around wise people. Want to be professional, hang around professionals.
Not wise guys, though.
Not wise guys. Not wise guys. Hang around people that got the wisdom that you can benefit from. Not them knuckleheads out there that them haters, man. I don't want to see you do good. Stay away from them kind of people. Stay away from them folks, man. If you got an uncle or a dad or somebody that's putting you on that right road, listen. Don't be a knucklehead and don't want to listen.
You might want to get their autographs now.
Wait. I can't wait, because I was telling one day I got my granddaughter, London. She's in Charlotte. She was born in New Haven. Her mother moved about 10 years. She's been there. She's 13 years old. She called me one day and said, Papa, I want to go to Yale. My first said, well, you know anything about Yale, first of all. And I asked her again because she wanted to spend the summer with me. I told her, you just got to give me 3 weeks, not the whole summer. But she told me again, I want to go to Yale. And I told her, you can do anything you want to do. I mean, I'm like, still trying to figure out what is it about Yale, but that's her dream and that's her goal. You know, so I'm all encouraging for her. We got to encourage our youth. Yeah. We got to keep y'all encouraged. Now, let's get back to the parade before we end this. It's going to start at 12 noon. Then let's give an update to them who just happened to join us watching television or the radio. Let's talk about the parade again. It's the Fairhaven Day Parade and Festival this Saturday. Who want to talk about the parade again? Let's get back to that.
So the lineup will start at 9:30. As early as 9:30 at John Martinez School. That's 100 James Street in New Haven. And then we will step off at 11 a.m. And so we will walk down to Grand Avenue specifically to Fairhaven School. That's 164 Grand Ave. And so that is where festival portion will take place. So from 11 a.m. we step off, 12 p.m. we should be done with the parade on Grand Ave, and that's where the festival will take place until 5 p.m. And then at 5 p.m. the doors will open inside Fairhaven School, specifically in the gymnasium, where the wrestling show will take place at 6 p.m. So they'll be open. You can get your seats and your tickets day of.
Tickets, okay.
Yeah, so there are tickets for the wrestling show.
Okay.
So it's organized through a partnership that we created a couple of years ago. The Elm City Wrestling Club is a partnership between my 555 Entertainment, Blood, Sweat, and Tears Wrestling, and United by One, which is juvenile diabetes charity. And I'll give you a quick story about how it got to be. Joe Rodriguez, who works in Senator Blumenthal's office, is a former student of mine, and Juan Candelaria, their state representative. They knew I was a wrestling fan, and they sponsor this wrestling promotion. Is the only Latino-owned wrestling promotion in Connecticut.
Okay.
So they brought me to a show. I became great friends with these guys, and they look like the kids I work with. So I want them to be around the kids that I work with. So we created this wrestling club, and it's really taken off, and we're hoping to build that kind of community around that in Fairhaven.
Let's give them something to do, because kids need something to do.
Look around this room. Like, there's so many different streams of revenue for kids when it comes to live entertainment, AV streaming, camera work,
without a doubt,
script writing, advertising, promotion, marketing, you name it.
Right? Some honestly, if I was a lot younger, because I always was into something. Trust me, I was always into something. Everything you're telling me is right, because we have a sports show on Tuesday and Friday. We talk sports. Dr. Wayne does the camera. We can do cameras, right? I got the radio. They can do internet radio, learn how to do it. I started from scratch. And I was on YouTube how to learn how to set this thing up. Boom. Even with the television, right?
Well, our kids don't get a chance to see this. It's an unfortunate statement, but our kids don't get a chance to see this until much later in life, as opposed to wealthier sections of our country, where these kids are getting introduced to this stuff in elementary and middle school, where they have high-tech computers and programs that they are able to access. Well, we want to bring it to our kids now, even if just to introduce them to like the kind of stuff you're doing. You're hitting it right on the head. You take a group of kids and you just show them this, you're sparking interest in something that they may have never seen until their adult life.
Well, listen, we glad you down there with the mayor, so put it in his ear to give us a grant.
Hey, I ain't saying the mayor listens to me.
We could be the summer camp, the summer media camp.
We're gonna talk.
I'm a very serious guy. If I say I'm gonna be here at 4 o'clock, if I'm here, and I'll be here. If you give me a couple excuses that you didn't make, I couldn't make it because of this, then I'm like this, say you're not interested.
Say what you mean and mean what you say.
Exactly. I had a guy that lives in Texas. We were supposed to do 2 interviews. Now, the first time we were supposed to do it at like 3 o'clock, I'm sitting there waiting around. They get no call, nothing. I let that slide. That's okay. He's on my station too. So we're scheduled for that Monday. Same thing. So I told him, but when the next day I talked to him on the phone, I said, did we have 2 interviews scheduled? Oh yeah, Jack, I got busy. We ain't scheduled no more right now. It's done.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the kind of guy I am. So even with all the work that you're talking about doing the parade, this stuff is work. This stuff is work, man. I mean, the radio, 24-hour station, and television, all that is work. You know, social media is work. Are you talking about marketing? That's work. I know about marketing. So my name is known all around because of the marketing part. You're building a brand. You're building a brand. But I'm excited for what y'all doing, though. I really am. Because why you making it happen? Anybody can do this. My dad always got two kinds of people, talkers and doers. Y'all making it happen. Y'all making it happen. I'm very proud of what you're doing. Very proud. Very, especially the young people, man.
That's yeah.
Right, Dr. Wayne, you want to share something? 641. I know I got Bishop Steve coming at 7.
Yeah, well, you know, we definitely want to have y'all back and looking forward, you know, even with the rest of
let me start with one the junta for progressive action. Let's talk about that. Who's in charge of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Let's talk about that.
sure. So we're a nonprofit. We're located on 175 Grand Avenue.
Okay.
And so we have been around for over 50 years. Yes,
I like it. Okay.
we are a family for sure. And so we like to think of ourselves located in the heart of Fairhaven just because it's Grand Ave. And so we've been around. We have community health workers, we have case managers, we have youth leaders, we have an after school program, we have a community service program. We're collaborating and doing like food pantries. We want to start doing like clothing. We've done clothing drives and things like that. And so we do a lot of also like information and referral, right? We use our network because we're connected to so many people. We've been around for a very long time. I don't like to think, I like to believe, and I know that Junta is a place where you can go, and even if we don't do the service in-house, there's an application or something, some assistance you want to apply for that our case managers can't do, we will find someone who can. If it exists somewhere in New Haven, we will find it for you. And so that's what, you know, that's what we do for Junta, and that's how I want to be. That's how I teach the youth, right? Melissa was part of the youth empowerment program, and so we show people like there are resources here. You just gotta find them, and let's help you find them, right? It's okay to ask for help. And speaking on like the youth aspect too earlier, in terms of like not underestimating the youth, I think Junta, so many kids in the Fairhaven community give that space where, because I like to acknowledge that it's not that we're saying, you know, we don't have anything to learn and we know it all because we're younger than you, but it's just acknowledging that we don't know it all, but we can learn and we want to learn, and give me the opportunity to try and